I found out my girlfriend was cheating on me because of a food delivery receipt. That sounds ridiculous, I know. People usually catch their partners through text messages, lipstick stains, or suspicious late-night phone calls. Not me. I had a crumpled receipt from a Thai restaurant. Emma and I had been together for almost 4 years. We met in college, moved into a small apartment after graduation, and built the kind of routine people mistake for happiness. Friday movie nights, Sunday grocery shopping, sharing playlists during long drives. I genuinely believed I was going to marry her. 3 weeks before I found the receipt, she started acting differently. Nothing obvious at first. She smiled at her phone more often, started going to the gym after work, bought new clothes she never wore around me. When I asked if everything was okay, she'd kiss my cheek and tell me I was imagining things. "You're paranoid," she'd laugh. Maybe I was. I worked long hours at a marketing agency. I was stressed, exhausted, the kind of tired that makes you doubt your own instincts. Then came the business trips. At least that's what she called them. Chicago for 2 days, Boston for 1, Denver for the weekend. She worked in HR and travel wasn't unusual, so I ignored the small voice in my head telling me something wasn't right. Until Tuesday night. I came home early because my boss canceled a client meeting. Emma wasn't home yet. I ordered takeout, sat on the couch, and turned on the TV. That's when I noticed the receipt lying beside the trash can. 2 pad Thai dishes, 2 mango sticky rice desserts, a bottle of wine. The total wasn't important. The date was. Earlier that afternoon, Emma had supposedly been in another city for work. I picked up the receipt and stared at it for almost a minute. There had to be an explanation. Maybe she'd come home early, maybe she ordered food for coworkers, maybe... I checked her location sharing. Disabled. For the first time in 4 years, I felt my stomach drop. I called her. No answer. I called again, straight to voicemail. I spent the next hour sitting in complete silence, staring at the front door. When Emma finally walked into the apartment, she looked surprised to see me. "I thought you'd be working late," she said. I held up the receipt. "How was Denver?" She froze. It only lasted half a second, but sometimes half a second tells you everything. "What is that?" she asked. "A receipt from a restaurant 15 minutes from our apartment." Her face remained calm, too calm. "You went through the trash?" I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "You told me you were in Denver." "I was? Then explain this." She crossed her arms. "Maybe I ordered it before my flight." The receipt timestamp said 4:37 p.m. Her flight had supposedly left at noon. I looked directly into her eyes. "Are you cheating on me?" For a few seconds, neither of us spoke. Then she sighed, looked down at the floor, and said the sentence that destroyed 4 years of my life. "It's not what you think, but yes." I wish I could tell you that I immediately stood up, packed my things, and walked out with my dignity intact. That's what people imagine they do in situations like this. But when the person you've loved for 4 years finally admits they've been lying to your face, your brain doesn't work the way you expect it to. It doesn't feel like anger at first. It feels like confusion, like someone just pulled the floor out from under you. "What do you mean, yes?" I asked. Emma sat down on the edge of the couch and covered her face with her hands. "It wasn't supposed to happen," she whispered. I laughed, not because anything was funny, but because I genuinely didn't know how else to react. "That's your explanation?" She looked up at me, tears forming in her eyes. "I didn't plan this." "How long?" I interrupted. She hesitated. That hesitation hurt more than the confession itself. "Emma, how long?" 3 months, she said quietly. 3 months, 90 days, while we'd been eating dinner together, sleeping in the same bed, talking about vacations and future plans. For 3 months, she'd looked me in the eyes and pretended everything was normal. "Who is he?" I asked. She wiped her eyes. "Someone from work." I felt sick. "Does everyone know?" She didn't answer immediately. That was answer enough. "Oh my God," I whispered. "How stupid do you think I am?" "Please don't do this," she said. "Do what? Get upset because my girlfriend has been sleeping with another guy? It wasn't just physical." I stared at her in disbelief. "You think that makes it better?"
She stood up suddenly. "I didn't mean for any of this to happen. We were having problems." "Problems?" I repeated. "Every couple has problems, Emma. Most people don't solve them by starting another relationship." She looked away. I felt lonely. That sentence broke something inside me. Lonely. I thought about the nights I'd stayed awake helping her prepare presentations for work, the weekends I'd canceled plans because she wasn't feeling well, the overtime I'd worked so we could afford a bigger apartment next year. Lonely. "Do you love him?" I asked. Her silence lasted only a few seconds, but it felt like an eternity. "I don't know," she whispered. I nodded slowly. "Do you love me?" This time, tears rolled down her cheeks. "I do." "No," I said quietly. "I don't think you do." Neither of us spoke after that. The apartment felt unfamiliar somehow, like the walls themselves had changed. Eventually, Emma stood up and walked toward the bedroom. "Where are you going?" I asked. "I need some clothes." "For what?" She stopped at the doorway without turning around. "I'm staying somewhere else tonight." I watched her pack a suitcase with the same hands that had held mine for 4 years. She folded sweaters, grabbed toiletries, charged her phone, ordinary actions performed in the middle of extraordinary heartbreak. Before leaving, she stopped in front of the door. "I'm sorry," she said. I looked at her for a long moment. Then I asked the question I hadn't been brave enough to ask before. "Were you ever gonna tell me?" Emma lowered her eyes. "No," she whispered. Then she walked out of the apartment. The door clicked shut behind her. I stood there alone in complete silence. Then my phone vibrated on the kitchen counter. It was a text message from an unknown number. I almost ignored it, but when I opened it, my blood ran cold. The message contained only one sentence. "She didn't tell you the worst part." I stared at the message for several seconds, convinced it had to be some kind of joke. "She didn't tell you the worst part." No name, no explanation, just those 7 words from an unknown number. I typed back immediately. "Who is this?" The reply came almost instantly. "Ask her where she was on March 18th. I frowned. March 18th. I opened my calendar. It took me less than 10 seconds to remember. March 18th was the day my father had been rushed to the hospital after suffering a heart attack. I had spent 12 hours sitting beside his bed while Emma repeatedly texted me that she wished she could be there but was stuck in Boston for an important work conference. My hand started shaking. I called the number. It went straight to voicemail. I called again. Disconnected. I sat down at the kitchen table trying to convince myself there had to be another explanation. Maybe someone was trying to hurt her. Maybe a jealous coworker wanted to ruin her life. But deep down, I already knew the truth. I opened our shared photo album and scrolled back to March. There was a picture Emma had sent me from her hotel room in Boston. I zoomed in. At first, I didn't notice anything unusual. Then I saw it. A reflection in the mirror behind her. A framed painting. I had seen that painting before. Not in a hotel. In our apartment. My stomach twisted. She hadn't been in Boston. She had lied while my father fought for his life in a hospital bed. I immediately called her. She answered after the 3rd ring. "What?" she asked, sounding exhausted. "Where were you on March 18th? Silence. "Why are you asking me that?" "Because someone just told me to." More silence. Then I heard her breathing change. "Please don't do this tonight." "Were you with him while I was at the hospital with my dad?" I asked. "Answer me." Her voice cracked. "I didn't know how to tell you." I closed my eyes. "So that's a yes." She started crying. "I'm sorry." "Stop saying you're sorry," I snapped. "You watched me break down in that hospital parking lot. You held me while I cried because I thought I was losing my father. And the entire time you knew exactly where you'd been." She didn't respond. "Who sent the message?" I asked. "I don't know." Then, after a pause, she whispered, "His wife found out last week." I froze. "His wife?" More silence. "Was he married?" Emma began sobbing on the other end of the line. "I didn't know at first," she said. "By the time I found out, I didn't know how to end it." I laughed bitterly. "You had plenty of opportunities." "I know." "Does she know about me?" "Yes." The room felt like it was spinning. 4 years together, wedding plans, future children we'd talked about naming, all destroyed by someone who had looked me in the eyes every day and chosen to lie. "I don't hate you," I said quietly. "I think that's the worst part. I wish I hated you. It would make this easier." Emma cried softly into the phone. "I never wanted to hurt you." I looked around the apartment we'd built together, the framed photos, the couch we'd saved months to buy, the coffee mug she'd given me for my birthday. "But you did," I said, over and over again. Then I ended the call. Weeks later, people kept asking me the same question. How did I move on? The truth is, I didn't. Not right away. Healing wasn't some dramatic moment where everything suddenly stopped hurting. It happened slowly, through sleepless nights, therapy sessions, long walks, learning how to eat dinner alone, learning that someone else's betrayal wasn't proof that I wasn't enough. The hardest part wasn't losing Emma, it was losing the future I thought we had. But eventually, I understood something important. The people who cheat don't just break promises, they rewrite your memories. They make you question your instincts, your judgment, and your worth. And healing begins the moment you stop blaming yourself for someone else's choices. Last month, I got another message from an unknown number. It simply said, "You deserved better." I stared at it for a long time before deleting it. Then I put my phone down, stepped outside into the sunlight, and for the first time in a very long while, I kept walking forward.